Hello, this is Hui. Welcome to watch my video C++ programming on Linux. In previous video, it has demonstrated how to create a TCP client and a TCP server using lab event. As we know, in these days, security becomes more and more important, and it requires to update network communication from TCP to SSL TLS. Here is the Wikipedia described TCP transmission control protocol. TCP is one of the main protocols. It's commonly referred as TCP/IP. Here is the Wikipedia described TLS. Transport Layer Security. TLS is a cryptographic protocol designed to provide communications security over a computer network. TCP protocol, after established socket connection, data transmission in text model between network communication. SSL TLS protocol, after established socket connection, handshake, exchange, RSA, public key and private key, then data will be encrypted and decrypted between network communication. OpenSSL is one of the most popular used library for building SSL TLS network communication API. There are few videos in this channel discussed some OpenSSL topic. In this short video, it will demonstrate how to convert a TCP client and server program to SSL TLS using OpenSSL library. Here on Linux, there are two TCP C++ programs in previous video: basic TCP client.cpp, basic TCP server.cpp. The basic TCP server is a TCP echo server. Before we programming, we test our basic TCP client and the basic TCP server. To test our TCP client and server, we use two Linux server. Debian Linux IP address 10.0.0.124. Bottom terminal is Ubuntu Linux. IP address is 10.0.0.191. Now we have these two programs copied in both Linux. On the top Linux, we just compile server, compile the TCP server. IP address 10.0.0.124. And the bottom Linux, we compile the client. For compiled basic TCP client. So first we start a server, port number 1234. TCP echo server has started, port number on 1234. We start our client, connect to the server. 10.0.0.124 and port number 1234. We send a message from client to the server. This is Hui test TCP message 1. You can see our server received the message and the server reply back, and our client received the message. We send another message. This is Hui test TCP message 2, and our server received the message, and server sent back, our client received the message. Here on Ubuntu Linux, we create a program, OpenSSL TLS Client.cpp, and we import from basic TCP client and update to TSL client. Our basic TCP client.cpp. Now we imported from TCP client. First update, we need to include OpenSSL header file. The usage will keep same. Take 2 arguments from command line, host or URL, and the port number. Host name from argument 1, port number from argument 2. Resolve the host by host name and get the host entity H. Create a socket for endpoint communication and get the FD. Socket address in address. Family is innet. Port number from command line argument 2 and host address resolved from the host name. And next will be connect, which means connect to the server. For TCP communication, after connect success, it means the server accepted connection request, so we can start communication between the server and the client. For TLS, after connect, we have to do handshake or SSL handshake. OpenSSL, to do the handshake, first have to load algorithm. Second is load error string. Then create a SSL context. CTX. This function need a parameter. Tell the context is for the client or server. For the client, CTX pointer equal none. It means error. So we print out message. Exit the program with error. Next, initialize a SSL object. Set link SSL with the FD. To start SSL handshake, the function is SSL connect. SSL connect initiate the TSL SSL handshake with the TSL SSL servers. The return value of this function, 1 is the TSL SSL handshake was successfully completed, and -0, it means handshake was not successfully. So if this function return less than 0, it means handshake was not successfully. Exit with errors. After successfully handshake with TSL SSL server, we can start communicate with the servers. So we make a loop from the client, send message to server, and our echo server write the data back. First we memory set receiving buffer, memory set send buffer, and using the getLine function write the in message to the send buffer, and the message length is number of bytes we're going to send to the server. And for the TCP client, we're using the send function, send the data to the server. For the TSL, after handshake, we're going to use SSL write. So we come out this line, int equal first parameter SSL and send buffer message length. After that, we're going to read back from the server using the SSL read function. So we come out this equal first parameter SSL, second parameter will be receive buffer. Then we print the message received. If message length equals 0, we just break the loop. Before we shut down the program, first we have to shut down the SSL. Set SSL shutdown. First parameter SSL. Second will be flag SSL received shutdown or SSL send shutdown. SSL shutdown, SSL. Free the memory allocate for SSL object, close FD and return 0. Now we finish write our TSL client converted from the TCP client. Save our program. Next, we're going to create a program named OpenSSL TLS Server.cpp. We'll copy from basic TCP server.cpp, convert it from TCP to TSL SSL, :r basic TCP server.cpp. Here, first add OpenSSL header file. Usage for TCP server, it only have one argument from command line, which is the port number. For TLS server, it needs to add 2 more. Certificate, the private key, port number from command line, argument 1. And then we need to initialize SSL context. For the server, the method will be if CTX is a non-pointer, we just print out the error. Exit with error. Next, we're going to set our SSL context with a certificate and the private key. Return code. Function SSL CTX use certificate file. The first parameter is CTX. Second is file name. Argument 2 flag. SSL file type PM. PM just one of certificate file format. If return code less or equal 0, it means we have error. Set up a certificate file. Exit with error. Exit with error. Next, set up use private key. First parameter CTX. Second is a private key file from argument 3. File type PM. If return code less or equal 0, it means error. Print out the message and exit with error. Initialize socket in address, AF innet, IPv4 Internet Protocol in IDDR any, means accept any incoming message and the port number. Then we start create a socket and return is listener. Binding the listener if everything is okay. Listening listeners to wait client make a connection request. Now we print out SSL TLS echo server started port number from the port number. Then we start a loop waiting client to make a connection request. When the client send request to the server, first server accept client request. Turn is FD for communication between the server and the client. After server accepted for TCP server, it can start making communication between server and the client. But for TLS server, it will start initialize SSL object. Set SSL link to the FD and start handshake. For the server, handshake is the SSL accept. So if handshake successful, we can start communicate between the server and the client, where we replace receive and send function to the SSL write and SSL read. Byte received equal the message buffer. If number received less equal 0, just a break, and for the equal the message buffer, we write the data received back to the client. We just print out receive the message. After break, we need to shut down our SSL, clean the memory allocated for SSL object, finish server loop, close listener, and need free context object. Finish our program TLS Server.cpp. We save our program. Now we start modify our makefile. First, we need to add two programs: OpenSSL TLS Client, OpenSSL TLS Server. Copy these two lines, paste here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Copy this 10 line, and then we paste here. From 23 to 26, 23, 26 as this. From the 28 to 31, 31 as. Now we add two programs for compile and for the library. Since we add OpenSSL, so we have to add two library. Decrypted SSL. Now we can save our makefile. We are going to copy these two new created program to our Debian Linux, and we compile one Linux server with client and one Linux server with server, so we can test our TLS server and client. To test our TLS client and server example, we use two Linux. Top of terminal is Debian Linux. We will compile the server. Bottom is the Ubuntu Linux, where compile client. Now we have a compiled server and the client. Before we running the example for the server, we have to generate a certificate and a private key. In our demo, we are going to use the OpenSSL API, generate self-signed certificate. Command will be country, CA, province, city, organization, home, unit, home office, command name, 10.0. Ubuntu Linux IP address, server executable, private key, certificate, PM file, and the server IP address 10.0.0.124. Here on our client, executable, client IP address 10.0.0.191. First, we start our server. First argument is the port number 1234. Second argument will be the certificate, private key. TLS equal server has started, port number 1234. Now we start a client on the Ubuntu Linux, the server IP 10.0.0.124 and the port number 1234. Now we start our client and connect to the server, and also there's no error when handshake. So now we can start write message. Server received our message, and the server echo back client received the message. So now we send the second message, server received the message, server return back, and the client received the message. Hello, thanks for watching my video. Wish it's useful and enjoyable. It's going to be great to have your feedback.